Okay, here we are going to do the 2x2 childhood tessellation. We use the 16 by 16 paper, the gridded paper, the folded out paper. All of you should have already had the mountain folds and the valley folds traced on there. Here I am folding. Now granted, I did fold this prior to it just for time's sake. It's important that you pre-crease the paper and you take the time to use either a butter knife or some kind of wooden tool in order to do that. If you don't, you are going to struggle mightily here with this particular tessellation. Use a ruler. I've found that people that are very sloppy and don't do the measurements carefully don't do well. You all also need some kind of paper clip or clamp to do this particular tessellation. I'm starting out with the edges and then doing the middle. Here I'm going to bring these two together. Now notice my hands are also, when I'm holding them up, taking it from the back side of the paper as well. You want to make sure that the paper and the folds stay intact. If not, you're going to find it very crumply and the paper might rip. So see how it kind of folds up here. So I need to be careful. Sometimes I took the clamp off and went from the back side of the paper and pushed out to make sure that those valley and mountain folds are intact. Now, with other tessellations, you kind of work from one side to the other. Here, you do need to keep in mind all the other valley and mountain folds. I think it's important to, before you start clamping, that all of them are kind of intact. So here, you'll notice that the paper is going to crumple and I'm going to undo one of the clamps just to make sure that it's correct. So notice how in the middle there it's kind of, I don't know, dented in. So I'm going to need to pull that out. Instead of ripping the paper, I'm going to take it off. Kind of make sure before I clamp it that, those valley and mountain folds are intact, and then I can clamp it together. And it only works if you pre-crease a paper and fold it ahead of time in the correct areas. And even the pre-folds that you do to make the grids are important as well. When I rushed through them, when I didn't try to do them fast because I didn't have a lot of time, it just didn't work out very well. So you just need to keep that in mind. Here towards the last bit, okay, after it starts to pop out a little bit, now I'm going to take the wooden tool and just kind of go over some of the creases in the folds to make sure that everything's okay. You definitely need to do this. I would start maybe from the back side of the paper to make sure that the squares are important here where I'm going over. You have those nice little squares, very beautiful tessellation. All right. There you have the childhood 2x2 tessellation. And you can take the paper clips or the clamps off. There you have it.